Hello everyone, welcome once again. Today we shall be looking at sulfur notation by your presenter Erisa Walubo. What is sulfur notation? Tonic sulfur notation is a system of writing music which involves the use of sulfur notes. And the sulfur notes are syllables such as do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. These syllables are often abbreviated and represented on a music ladder in their order of pitch. As you can see, here is the music ladder. Do, abbreviated re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, mi, fa. The distance is shorter, just as it is between ti, do. Remember, these steps are naturally a semitone apart, and so they are half as long as the other steps. Rhythm in sulfur. In sulfur notation, the notes represent pitch, but we can also have the rhythm represented. And for us to represent rhythm in sulfur notation, we use various punctuation marks, most of which have been copied from the English language and other punctuation marks that we use in writing. Some of these marks are tabulated here with their meaning in terms of duration. First, we have the colon, which signifies the end of one beat. We have a dot, which is an indicator of a half of a beat. We have a comma, which indicates a quarter of a beat. We have a dot and a comma because a dot is a half, and then a comma, which is a quarter. So the two together give us a half and a quarter, which is equivalent to 3/4 of a beat. Then we have a colon and a dash after the colon, which indicate one beat sustenance. You sustain the note for one more beat. Then a colon, a dash, and a dot after the dash gives us a half beat sustenance, just as we saw that a dot indicates half beat. So once we have the colon, dash, and a dot, it indicates we shall sustain the beat for just but a half of a beat. 2-beat sustenance is colon, dash, colon, dash. And if there are 3, the same story. If there are 4, how many beats do we sustain? So we shall look at examples for illustration and application of these punctuation marks. I want to urge you to explore with these so that you are able to apply them and learn them. Here is example 1. The time signature is indicated, the key is given, that is if it is staff notation. The music will be on the staff, but we have given an equivalent. I have showed you the equivalent of the music on the staff by putting it in sulfur notation. Study the rhythm. Remember 2/4 is indicating that there are 2 beats of the crochet type in every bar. Mi, re, do, re, mi, fa, sol, fa, mi, fa, mi, re, do, ti, la, sol, la, re, la, ti, do. So explore and be able to clap the rhythm. Practice. Remember, we said this colon indicates a full beat, meaning from this bar line up to the colon gives us 1 beat. Then from the colon up to the next bar line gives us another beat, because we said that each bar is having 2 beats. Now after this note, you can see a dot and a comma. Remember we said a dot and a comma gives us 3/4 of a beat. So we said a dot and a comma gives us 3/4 of a beat. So mi is 3/4, which is the equivalent of tie, and then the last note, which is a quarter, to give us ta efe, ta efe. Then here we have a note and a comma. We said a comma is a quarter, meaning do is a comma, re is a comma. Now the two do is a quarter, re is a quarter. So a quarter and a quarter join to make a half. That's why they are now punctuated with a dot. Then the same applies to mi and fa, a quarter and a quarter to make another half. So from the bar line up to here gives us now the full beat up to the colon, and then ta te punctuated with a dot, because this is so is a half, mi is a half. So follow through, we also discovered half beat sustenance. If you are sustaining 1.5 beats, because this note fa is now 1.5 beats long. So from the bar line up to the colon is 1 beat, then we add a half sustenance. And finally, a full beat sustenance like here, ta, do, together to give us 2 beats. Here is another example. This time it is in 3/4 time, meaning there are 3 beats in every bar. So from the first bar line up to the colon gives us 1 beat. From the colon to the next colon gives us the second beat, and from the colon now to the bar line gives us the 3rd beat. The same applies through. So follow through and explore. Here, because we have a dotted minim, fa is going to last for as long as 3 beats. So we sound fa, ta, 3 beats long. So we sound the note and sustain it for 2 more beats. Then when we come to this bar number 5, you realize that in this bar there is a point where there is nothing written. So we have re here, the first beat. Then when you check, it is a rest, and it is a crochet rest. A crochet rest, remember, is 1 beat long. You keep quiet for 1 beat. In sulfur notation, for us to indicate a silent beat, you simply leave, punctuate, leave the space blank. That's why you see the colon here and the colon here. In the middle, remember we saw that a colon means it is a full beat. From a colon to a colon is a full beat. And then we fall through. Here at the end of the first line, it's a brace. This brace signifies that the music there is to be performed. The music enclosed in the brace will be performed at the same time. In this case, we only have 1 melody being performed. Otherwise, if there were many, we would also enclose them with a brace. This symbol is a brace to a musician. And we can't put another bar line there because we are going to put it here. So we spare it and we put a brace to indicate the end of a bar, or rather measure. Here is another example. This time it is in common time. Don't you worry, you will understand what these time signatures mean in the nearby future in one of the other tutorials. Please note that here we have 4 beats in every bar. If there are 4 beats in every bar, we have already looked at the half beat, a full beat, half beat sustenance. We have looked at the silent beat. You can now see the silent beat. Then the rest of the things, really, we have already looked at them. Work with your colleague. Practice clapping these rhythms. Feel free, sing, conduct, and do everything. Explore with them. So, di, do, ti, la, di, do. Re, mi, do, la, ti, re, mi, re. So, mi, re, do, la, sol, fa, mi, fa. Mi, fa, sol, fa, mi, re, sol, la, ti, do. Thank you and wish you the best.